Okay, it's an hour or two later, and kids reading. That's Finn. He likes his food. Lcee, I had to coax, and I had to go. I had to add temptations, and I had to pretend to eat. Now he's eating. And Agita likes her food. She'll eat. She eats slowly, but she eats. It was even a bit of an effort to clear the litter boxes and to feed them, but as I've said, without the kids, I probably wouldn't be here. I mean, it's because I have the kids to return to, and because the daily tasks and the needing to be there to feed them and to look after them keeps me alive, keeps me here. So I'm very, very, very grateful to my kids. I don't know what I would have done without them, So that's. And even when you don't feel like doing anything, it's like, even the podcasting. I mean, it goes to show that it's become so ingrained that even in this state, I was able to tape and post and send links. So that was, that's become almost like breathing to me. And then this is, a little bit of an effort, but I had to open the cans. I did that. So I fed the kids, they've eaten. And it's just such a pleasure to watch them enjoy their food. Even this one, even after some coaxing. So, mouth is still a bit fucked up. There's a kind of a sore in my tongue and stuff. But I've slept. I don't think I've eaten in a while. When did I eat? Last night? I think I ate last night. See, this is what you lose track of. This is you lose track of things. I keep better track of feeding the kids than of myself, but I think I did eat last night. So, fed the kids. I'm gonna pick up the bowls. Babies are there. There's Agita. Agita, where are you? There's Agita. It's very comfortable. Now, it's going to be a pretty major effort, but it's important. I need to go eat. I've just been eating randomly, this and that. I don't even know when. I think I had like a TV dinner or something last night. So, but I really, really need to face the world, and I need to eat some real food, eggs and toast, and come back and then try to write. And I've been exchanging emails with my prof and friend. That grounds me as always. And she saw the podcast. She's very worried about me, But she saw the podcast and she said, your kids aren't the only ones who worry about you. And she said, I don't have to thank her publicly, but I don't have to, but I do like to because, I really, really appreciate it. So anyway, that's what's happening. These are the threads bringing me back, Now the next one I have to do myself, which is like go out to eat, So okay, let's do it. I'll pick up the bowls. Bye for now. Okay, I said this is actually the first actual meal, besides some, pre-cooked microwave shit, instant stuff that I might or might not have eaten over the last couple of days. But this is the first actual real food I think I've had since Saturday. And what did I say before? This was Friday, so it's pretty much a week, Oh, it tastes good. Now, the thing is, you'll know that something is up with the nutty professor because, I hardly put any Tabasco. I even brought this Chipotle one. Hard for me to, because my mouth is all cut up, from inside, comes from certain things. So I'm like, it's still got kind of sores on it. So, I'm not putting a lot, and also my stomach won't be used to that shit, So I haven't been, So I don't want problems in that end. So I'm going to easy, but I am enjoying the food. It's like, earth food, good, junkie food bad, earth food good. Oh, thank you very much. And caffeine, excellent, caffeine, just what I needed. Yeah, So here we are. I think you were giving me a slightly strange look. But that's what happens when people think that you are, when you're talking to yourself and you're like going, junkie food, good. you are going to get slightly strange looks. Fine. So now, here we are, tastes good, just kind of enjoying the sensation of eating simple things, just being out, amongst the civilians everywhere, and just normal, quote, normal unquote. I mean, back to this kind of level of reality, what we call reality, and I'm gonna finish eating and then at home. Bye for now. Yeah, I'm not exaggerating a lot. I'm exaggerating slightly, but there is always a reorientation, particularly the deeper in you go, and the more the ego boundaries dissolve, which they had. Because on this last one, there was a lot of stuff. There's a lot of gains, and there's a lot of things, and there's a lot of, drama you wouldn't believe. Now, to a certain degree, of course, the nutty, crazy, semi-psycho professor does like drama. I do, I kind of thrive on it, But, there are kind of boundaries where, it gets, and see, the thing is, just like with substances, just like with the other stuff, the drama also, you need more and more, you need higher and higher levels. So I seek, maybe not entirely consciously, but I seek each time, not even I seek, it's provided for me, it's kind of given, each time I'm taken to something else, a scenario that is even more fucked up than the one before. And it's like, it's entertaining, like I wouldn't, I can describe, but I can't describe here because I really will get taken away. So, but even if I'm talking about substances, I don't, these days, there's a lot of substances that are illegal. But, so you never know. You could be doing very large amounts of strong alcohols and cannabis, there's all kinds of cannabis stuff, so you could be doing a lot of that to dissolve the ego boundaries. But, really, the kind of stuff that we're talking about takes you to different places. So anyway, but then again, I could always say, look, I was just, just making some of this shit up just to entertain myself. So you never know, entertain my very few viewers. So I'm not committing to anything, But I will go look, I am saying that I've been on adventures, I've been in, feral excursions, I'm back, and I'm not entirely exaggerating when I say that you have to reacclimatize, because it's a sort of a different level of reality, And even eating becomes you're like, oh, food, it's like I'm not used to it. Anyway, bye for now. Okay, since we're sharing a little bit more, and again, I'm not going to say anything too, and I think my cousin who's a lawyer had told me once that, if you're talking about something, you can, as long as it's not actually in possession, and you're talking about something that you may or may not have done, as, but still, there are other people involved, so I'm going to keep this a little bit, still keep it a little circumspect. But I have shared before that when I'm on one of my excursions and I shift and I become a dusky dunster rodent weasel or whatever I become, a feral cat, I do regress, and it's very difficult for me to speak, and I become compulsive and obsessive like a 1-year-old, I gotta go back to that stage of psychosexual stage of development. So it makes it, and there's all kinds of stuff going on there in this, so I have been called boring a few times, but that's probably because I'm speaking like a zombie and just being very, very compulsive, So that's what, now, normally, the Nutty Professor is not boring, but then you never know, because, some people may find nuttiness to be a bit, boring, I don't know, whatever, it's all subjective anyway. So everybody has their own perspectives and their own agendas, and when I'm there, I have one particular one, but I also, I'm still sort of aware, and I can remember things afterwards, and I can still know that whatever is happening, and it's kind of funny sometimes, it's sad sometimes, it's pathetic quite often, but it's, myself even, myself especially. So there's all kinds of stuff, but I do have awareness of all of that. But when the opportunity comes, I still go over it. Then the drama, and then you find, and then somehow I get released. Somehow I manage to come back alive and with my faculties relatively intact. A little battered, but I can look back at what happened from my perspective. It's always going to be from mine, but I can kind of see what other people see of me and what they want from me or what they need from me or what they, and what I need from them and what they know that I need and what I know that they need. And in the state that I'm in, it becomes very complex to negotiate and navigate, So, but, and it's, come back, and there's various things happening, so there we are. Here we are. We're back. And it is. I'm reacclimatizing. I'm back to the norms of society. Now there are some norms there too, but the norms shift. So, and I'm willing to share bits and pieces because if not, then my journeys were in vain. And I've talked about Peterson so many times. And I've said that he's, the absolute opposite of myself. I was also a psych prof, I was also a Jungian. I'm now a podcaster, but there are no two people on the planet that are approaching stuff from more different perspectives. And it's odd that his name keeps coming up even under those circumstances. And, something that I was going through was being related to something that he had said. And the topic of incels and feminine, masculine, and gender roles, and all of that stuff. Now, I prefer not to talk about this stuff in my podcasts, and I don't really address those issues. I end up living them, but I end up living them at a very intense level, in altered states. So I will say that much. I will say that those are the kind of things. And there's a lot of breakdown, gender roles and things when one is in a certain state and there's certain things happening and there's certain, it's that whole, and, masculine, feminine, humiliations, all kinds of stuff. It's really, really bizarre, But it sort of illustrates his points of what's wrong with it. At the same time, I'm not advocating what he's advocating. I'm not talking. I mean, he tends to, he emphasizes responsibility. I'm the furthest you can get from responsibility. But I will share. I will say, look, if you break certain things and you play around with this stuff, you could be fucked. Literally, metaphorically. So that's what. I'm willing to, at least in my writing, provide more details of, so it's very odd that I complete opposite of him in every way, but I end up dealing with some of the same things, but personally. The shadow and the anima and all of that stuff, rather than I've talked about it, theoretically, I used to lecture on it, but now I live it. I'm taken into, the circumstances. I'm not taking responsibility away from myself. Of course, I look for it, and the opportunities arise, and I'm like, sure, so I go for it because it gives me something that I need in there. There's something, So, and then I come back, So I keep coming back, but harder and harder, This is probably more than I've said in a while, more than I've shared, but I don't think I've shared too much. So that's it for now. I go home. Might actually go try to buy some groceries, I'm not sure what I can eat now. But and then back to the kids, and I'll try to write. That's the important thing. And I may even post again tonight. Anyway, bye for now. Server, I think he heard me say something about junkie food or something like that. When I was leaving, he was like, "Oh, let me get you a coffee for the road. Let me get it for you. I've got extra." I go, "No, I'm okay." And he goes, "No, coffee's good for you." And I was like, I'm like, "Thank you." Because he figured that junkies need coffee. Where civilians shop for civilian food, I think you can get junkie food here too, but it's just easier to get from a 7-Eleven. Now, let's see, I'm in that in-between phase now. I'm coming back, so it's not quite junkie food and it's not quite civilian food. So what do I need? I need the in-between food. Okay, requirements are that it should be very simple, like not a lot of preparation involved. Sandwiches already made, frozen foods. Let's see. I said it before. My eating habits are the opposite of you know whose as well. He only eats red meat, and I haven't touched red meat in 20 years. So vegetarian or seafood. Let's see. Has to be heated in the oven. Too complicated. I was just walking by that guy, and he kind of gave me the kid working here. He kind of has to give me I think the madness is showing in my eyes. I think so. Or maybe I'm just being paranoid. Anyway, to make sure that I've got everything on correctly, nothing's on inside out. Yeah, maybe I'm just being paranoid. Anyway, you know what? It's just too much variety here. Now I understand why junkies prefer 7-Elevens. This is overwhelming. It's just too much food. It's like, and I'm not quite, oh God, too much food. I've been back, I've been sober for a few days now, but still, body hasn't, completely, I'm still in the in-between phase, So, gonna have that later. That's easy. I just open it, eat it, put some cheese on it. Okay, this is my supper. Good. Oh, that was a bit of an ordeal. Anyway, and you can imagine what it's like when you're actually in the alternate world. Then it's like, this became like super adventure. Even now it's a bit of an adventure, but I'm coming back to civilian world, ordinary world. This is the first step. Here we are, food. We're going to eat this my supper later. Bye for now. Okay, I got the look again. I don't think I'm being paranoid here, but this is the only thing I bought. And then she goes, I didn't think she would. She asked the lady in front of me and to donate for the food bank, and the lady said no, the lady. And then she was debating. I mean, she was looking. This guy looks like he's using from the food bank himself. But she asked me, kind of, you want to donate to the food bank? And I'm like, sure. Yes, I give a little bit, And she's just looking at me, So I don't know. I think there's still the aura of, junkie, golden weasel, licking the eyes, something a little off kilter, Anyway, but it's okay. It's kind of fun. I'm not unused to it. It happens to me quite often, Anyway, bye for now. Okay, parked myself because of the sketches and some of the valets don't have private. So, that was an effort. Now, I'm completely, substances if there were any. It's been 4 days, 3-4 days. I'm completely down off it, I think, them. But it's just such a, the combination that I was telling you about before, the situation and the stuff. It's just really harder to readjust. It's really, everything is like, I'm looking at through different eyes, it's kind of, I have to readjust myself to, little things, like, driving and eating and, maintaining norms of society and, just even though, as I said, I think people kind of sense, unless I'm being a bit paranoid, but people did sense that I'm kind of, a little in a different space. And like, these strange looks. I look like, I'm not foaming at the mouth or anything. I'm not going off on schizophrenic rants. I just buy a sandwich, Anyway, fun, but exhausting. Just absolutely exhausting. And now I just need to get back to the kids. Just had a conversation with bougies, and their fridge had died, and they had to replace it. They were away, and they came back, and it was like a bougie conversation in the fridge, in the elevator about fridges, and I'm like going, okay, I could do this. I could be a nutty bougie. I mean, you can be nutty in different, different social classes and stuff, you know. So I'm looking, so I was, you know, I don't know if they were fooled, but you know, I, I can't, but I don't know. I think I had an elevator conversation with it, you know, sounding too crazy. Okay, bye for now. I'm not sure about that. Daddy's back. I'm not weaseling. I had an adventure in the ordinary world. I ate and I bought a sandwich with some difficulty, and I talked to some bougies, and I'm back, and you know, I'm so happy to be here, to be home with them. Oh, hi, sweetie. Hi, Agita. Daddy's home. Daddy's safe. We're in the cat room. Oh, it was an adventure. It was an adventure. Oops. So anyway, I don't know, sweeties. You know, you guys are my universe. You are. Now, it just so happens that, you know, being a kind of, you know, rodent weasel, feral, not completely domesticated cat, Daddy does get the call, you know. And when Daddy gets the call, Daddy answers it, even though it's a bit risky for Daddy, which is, you know, not be good for you guys if something happened to Daddy. So Daddy makes every effort to come back, you know, sort of, you know. But, you know, I get back, don't I? I come back, you know, for now. Oh, anyway, here we are. You know. Now, by the way, this thing that I'm in right now, this is natural. This is not, you know, I'm not in any substance. This is just from the, you know, the return. This particular return has been, you know, I'm just kind of feeling the atmospheric pressure changes. So this is kind of a natural high or an in-between thing, or a kind of a, you know, reacclimatization, and the possibly just the relief to have made it back, to be with my kids. But then it's taking a bit of an effort to readjust, to do little things, like go out and eat and buy a sandwich. And, you know, I agonized over the sandwich too. So, you know, that's what, but it's okay. It's a good sign. It's a first step. Anyway, I'm going to now, I'm still wearing my coat. So I'm now going to, you know, have a shower and try to do some writing, if I can. What's another kid, you know? And I keep watching them because they're my ground. They're my, you know, they're what keep me grounded, keep me here. These are my responsibilities, you know? These are the only things I have ever loved like this, you know? Yeah, I'm fond of my friends too. I really do care about them, but these are my children, you know? These are my own children, you know? I'm just feeling a little lightheaded. I managed to take off my coat. So we got one baby there. We got one baby there. We got Agita here. And that was a lot of effort. Okay, kids, I'm back, you know, and yeah, as I was saying to you, you know, Daddy loves you guys more than anything in the world, but unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, Daddy is not a stay-at-home, is not a domesticated, fully domesticated, you know, fixed cat, you know, made things a little easier. But, you know, I need my, you know, or I have needed, for reasons, my, the dusty dumpster rodent weasel excursions and the feral catting and all of that stuff. And it, you know, it's not exactly fun, but it's, you know, it's very compelling. It's a completely, you know, as I said, it's that combination of things. And, you know, the drama is there, there's various kinds of high that comes from various things. Everything can be a high, and everything just is like looking through everything through a different lens, especially when you're regressed, which I am. You know, so I'm looking at it like not even a kitten, like a comatose cat, sort of, you know. So it becomes even more of an adventure, you know, to navigate, you know, a challenge. You know, the challenge, ultimate challenge is to come home alive, you know, but, you know, managing it so far. So anyway, so there we are, you know, I'm just gonna ride this out. I'm doing this, but I'm gonna write. That's the only way I can do this, is that I'm going to I can't face cleaning or anything right now. That will come later. But I'm just going to be. I'm going to think like a domestic cat. I'm just going to appreciate my kids. I'm just going to try to write. and I didn't post this later. So I'm sharing little bits more in here than I have been before, just little bits, And, I don't expect my friends to watch all of these, but bits and pieces if they want to, might be some interesting stuff. Anyway, bye for now. Yeah, I'm still readjusting, this time, each time I do go further and further in, and it's harder and harder to come back, as I keep saying. But I come back with more each time. And I really have to start sharing more and more of what I come back with. I do write it, but right now I don't have the energy to write. And when I'm in a certain zone, it's very hard for me to speak. Because I'm so kind of regressed to a pre-verbal state. But now I'm kind of more verbal. I can still write, but it's just more to process there. It's easier to speak right now. So for now, I will write after I do this. So I will write a bit more. I will try to at least. I've been exchanging emails with my other from province friends, so that's a form of writing. So now I just want to add a couple of things. Each time I come back, and I said this before, I'm particularly appreciative of my kids and my friends and having my safe space here with the kids and my cat room, so to speak, so but it does require a reacclimatization, because when I'm there, it's very, very basic. It's eros and thanatos. It's life and death. And eros is, as I've said before, it's the two. It's the survival of the species, the connected with sexuality and all of that stuff. Also, it's survival of the individual. So life instincts. So it's eros and it's thanatos. Death instincts, and you put all of that stuff together, and there's such a, so coming back, just the brush with it, with both eros and thanatos, it's a kind of not just a come down, but it's something else, it's a different pace, a different reality, so to speak. And I'm still kind of recovering that whole eating out thing, and now that I'm in this space, that kind of manic energy is kind of gone. Now I'm just kind of, and I'm also remembering what I've said in previous podcasts, but the Campbell's framework and the so-called heroic journey and the return from the underworld or wherever the hero, the boon that the hero comes back with, hero, anti-hero. In my case, the boon is my podcast, which nobody sees, which is fine. I do them for myself, the podcasts and the writing, which I do, and I've got to keep up with, so I come back with my my knowledge, but there's also a knowledge, as I said, you come each time. If I don't come back with this and I don't record it, then it was in vain, But I do come back with knowledge about life and death, because I'm kind of very close to both, in that where I go, So that's where I'm kind of very aware of both, So it's but it's choosing to come back. As I've said this before, the return, because I do have things I have to do, and I have an obligation I feel to share stuff, and I've got my responsibilities, and, so I've got all of that. I do come back, and I want to share what I can. So there we go. If any of this helps anyone, fine. If it doesn't, fine. I'm just doing it for myself, and we'll just keep going. So the thoughts about Peterson and all of that stuff, I will add a bit more. But as I said, very different level. Mine is very, it's very experiential, but and not just experience, but it's at a very raw and very dangerous level. But as I said, I seem to come back. Getting harder and harder, getting more and more battered. I'm like a feral cat, But right now, I'm a semi domesticated cat. So now I'm just going to, in this state, I can't watch TV. I can't listen to music. I can't. There's so much I can't do. But I can do this, and I can just be with the kids, and I can try do a bit more writing. So for now, I'm just going to say. Semi-psycho professor, but coming back. I'm coming back this way to crazy, and then hopefully back nutty. So we're on our return to the so-called ordinary world. The ordinary world for the nutty prof is to be nutty. So we're on our way back to nutty. And once again, thanks to my friends. Hi everyone. And so from the four of us, one baby. Two baby, Agita, and myself, the semi-psycho, hoping to be once again nutty. You're coming back slowly but surely, Keep you posted. Bye for now.